Hello there. Hope you are doing well. So here we have another question from the same passage, and the direction for question is answer the following questions based on the information provided below. As we understood the text, let's move to the question. So the question points out here, which of the following best captures the main argument of the author's work? Which of the following best captures the main argument of the author's work? What is that? Richer and more equal, isn't it? So it is stated in the second paragraph where it is stated we are both richer and more equal today than we were in the past, right? So in that case, um, let's look at the simplified explanation of the question and what does it try to point out. Um, and we'll look at which choice best captures the main argument of that author's work. Now, the question is asking here that what which statement most accurately represents the main argument. What is that main argument? Main argument of the author's book, richer and more equal. Look at the choice which are given here. The first choice, wealth inequality in the West has remained consistent due to stagnant economic policies, right? Now, if you say that this particular choice, which suggests that wealth inequality has not changed, wealth equality in the West has remained consistent. It means not changed, right? Not changed, and it's due to unchanging what economic policies. And if you see that this doesn't align with what? With the author's argument, right? With the author's argument. Because if we see that my work with the new data published in my book, Richer and More Equal, arrives at a new conclusion for the history of wealth and inequality in the West. The new results are striking. Data show that we are both richer and more equal today than we were in the past, right? An accumulation of housing wealth and pension saving among workers in the middle classes that emerges as the main factor producing greater equality. Today, three-fourths of all private assets are either homes or long-term pensions and insurance savings. So, if you see this particular choice, um, we can consider that this option one is incorrect. Why? Because it implies that wealth inequality has stayed the same, which is not the author's argument, right or not? Because the author stated data shows that we are both richer and more equal today than we were in the past. So in that case, we cannot consider it is a consistent, right? Hence, we can consider option one is wrong here, right? Now look at the second one. Private wealth accumulation among the middle class has contributed to a more equitable distribution of wealth, right? Private wealth accumulation among the middle class has contributed to a more equitable distribution of wealth. Now, look at this particular one. Today, three-fourths of private assets are either homes or long-term pension and insurance saving. Underlying the change in personal wealth formation over the 20th century are several political and economic developments. The democratization of the Western world began with the extension of universal suffrage during the 1910. This movement initiated a process of reforming the educational system to extend basic schooling to the population and facilitating access to higher education. New labor laws improved the working life by restricting the working hours per day, allowing unions to be active. Better training and nicer workplace raised worker productivity and earning, creating opportunity for working and middle class households to purchase their own homes. The improved living standard also led to longer lives between the 1940s and today. So life expectancy at birth increased almost 20 years in Western countries, most of which are spent in retirement. Pension systems started evolving during the post-war era. Both both as public sector unfunded system based on promises about a future income, and as a private sector funded system where individual pension funds were accumulated as part of people's long-term saving. Now, if we look into that, so the second one stated that private wealth accumulation among the middle class has contributed a more equitable distribution of wealth, which is a correct one because this captures the main argument of the author's work, richer and more equal, right? So, and as for the second paragraph, we find out that means pension system and also stated about middle class household purchase their own homes, improve the living standards. These are clearly indicating that they gather, huge wealth that has contributed to a more equitable distribution of wealth. So in that case, we can say option two would be the appropriate answer. So, looking at the option three and four, we can find out neoliberal policies have excessively harmed to wealth inequality, reversing earlier progress. This could not be a correct one. And four, the concentration of wealth among the rich has decreased the economic power of the middle class. This is also, you consider that the concentration of the wealth among the rich has decreased, right? But we need to talk about that richer and more equal. So option three and four doesn't talk about or highlight the main argument. So this clearly biased or misleading information. So option one, three, four cannot be considered the correct one to capture the main argument of the author's work. So hence we can find out looking at the last paragraph, option two would be the most appropriate uh, uh, means option that captures the main argument of the author's work. Hope you understood this. That's all. Thank